you have no idea just how early you still are. Lock in and don't listen to those who believe this cycle is almost over, because those are the ones who missed out on the earlier dips, who sold during the Black Swan event in April and are now doing whatever they can to spread FUD to support their poor investment decisions. This is effectively what Wall Street expert Tom Lee stated last night on CNBC, that this is the most hated V-shaped rally, but the next 2 months will be extremely important, the most important in the markets. That tariffs won't be nearly as bad as people are expecting, and we can potentially expect another full year of market growth in the weeks to come. Take a close listen here.
Well, I think the economy, we've had enough data to know that the tariffs aren't necessarily hurting the consumer wallet or hurting jobs growth yet, but we're just waiting for, as Fed Chair Powell says, to see how it shows up in inflation. So I think the next 2 inflation reports are going to be closely watched, because if we don't see a meaningful pickup in core inflation and consumer inflation expectations don't move up, then it's going to give the Fed a lot more comfort about cutting over the next 12 months, and that would be good for stocks.
The president continues to talk tough as it relates to tariffs and his trade war. The market, I think, is continuing to reflect a I don't necessarily believe you mentality, that the tariffs are, in fact, going to end up on August 1st, as bad as they sound today or may sound in the days leading up to August 1st. Is that how you think the market is taking it right now?
Well, I think the market's somewhat pragmatic, and they realize the president is making statements to try to force negotiations to come to a close, but at the same time, the president is practical and knows that he doesn't want to upend the economy. So I think the market is trying to manage that balance, and yesterday was a day where they weren't so sure. That's why I think we had a lot of selling. But I think, as time passes, I do think at the end of the day, we expect the White House to find something that is a good balance between the two.
I keep hearing from people, well, a lot of the good news now, given the rally back and the V-shaped recovery that you said, now all of this good news is priced in. Is it?
I'd say that the ones who are saying it's priced in are a lot of the folks that missed the rally. If we get the tariffs issue settled and the Fed breathes a sigh of relief, starts cutting, and the ISM moves above 50, I think earnings estimates for next year actually go up.
This is the sort of calm and collected mentality that you only get when you've had skin in the game for years and years on end. He knows how to block out the haters, the FUD spreaders, and follow the true macro trends. And when you've been in the game as long as Tom Lee, you also know what sort of assets are going to explode in the coming weeks, months, and years ahead. And this is something he addressed on the Global Money Talk Here interview the day prior to CNBC. Assets like Tesla and equally Bitcoin, as well as Ethereum, and I believe especially XRP, they are going to explode. A tidal wave of capital, a tsunami, is incoming. Again, pay close attention.
If you're buying Bitcoin today, it's still early. I don't think it's too late. So if you have zero exposure to Bitcoin and you feel like you missed it, 95% of investors have zero Bitcoin exposure. So you're still way ahead if you're buying Bitcoin today. If you look at Bitcoin wallets, comparing it to the internet, we're back to 1996 levels. Internet went exponential from 1996. So it's still the earliest days. I think Bitcoin is very useful because in the future, we're not going to be able to trust anything. Because cybersecurity, there's nothing secure anymore. We can sample your voice. I mean, even someone takes our voice, translates into Korean using my voice, you'll never know what's true anymore. So you need to be able to trust a system. The blockchain, the Bitcoin blockchain is the most trusted blockchain. And that's why the United States wants to have 1 million Bitcoin. US companies are buying Bitcoin. Banks will soon carry Bitcoin as collateral. But Ethereum is really important too. Did any of you buy the Circle IPO or own Circle? Circle is a stablecoin. And they just went public 10 days ago at $31. It's now $242.
What is the ticker code?
CRCL.
CLCL.
Circle is a stablecoin. It's the second largest. Stablecoins are being pushed by the United States government. Here's the thing. Circle runs on Ethereum. Stablecoins run on Ethereum. So as stablecoins explode, Ethereum is the backbone for stablecoins. So I think Ethereum is going to make a big comeback as well.
Now, while Tom Lee didn't directly name drop XRP, there is zero doubt that he knows XRP is about to explode in value, that a tsunami for XRP is incoming. For the same reason why he stated that Ethereum will do extremely well, because it's the biggest ecosystem for stablecoins and the adoption of it. And of course, stablecoin adoption is going faster and faster and faster. That's great for Ethereum, therefore you're likely to do well, but in XRP's case, they equally have a lot of skin in the game and very deep connections. They're so deep even that Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, he will be a speaker today, speaking at the Senate, the US Senate hearing on today's market structuring. There are 3 key demands that he will be testifying before the Senate today: clarifying the regulator roles, establishing innovation safe zones, and commitment to making the United States the world crypto leader. Ripple are by this point a global company. They've yes founded in the United States, but they're a global company. They have roots, deep roots in every continent and nation around the world. The European Union, Africa, the BRICS Nation Alliance, the United Kingdom, and many, many more. There is nobody more suited, better suited to teach the United States Senate on how to allow America, allow the United States to remain the leader in crypto. And actually in that regard, Brad Garlinghouse himself even posted his full testimony for the hearing today, which within it he highlights and talks about how Ripple leverages the XRP ledger, a decentralized, battle-tested, open-source blockchain, and its native digital asset XRP to facilitate payments. He's also highlighting XRP once again, proof that despite the RLUSD that's come out, XRP is still an integral part of their protocol, of their system. XRP is built to enable fast, low-cost, and highly scalable transactions. Ripple here, Brad Garlinghouse here, is effectively telling the United States that if you work with us, with Ripple, if you use the XRP ledger and XRP, then you will retain your global dominance with crypto with XRP. So, with that being known, when Tom Lee's talking about Bitcoin is set to explode because 95% of investors don't even own it yet, and Ethereum's going to explode because it has the biggest ecosystem for stablecoins, at least for now, my belief that's going to change soon enough because Ethereum is not scalable at all, then in that regard there's no doubt XRP will explode and Ripple have the deepest ties to the United States government. We are so early. A tsunami for XRP is incoming. Lock in and know what you hold. The next couple of weeks to months are going to be so important. Rate cuts are hopefully going to be on the rise and tariffs won't be as bad, and XRP will explode. So if you don't want to miss out on the incoming opportunity, then come learn much more here in the VIP. wop.com/coinfactory. From alpha institutional research documents, learn what smart money is saying to their clients, allowing us to get ahead of the retail market, educational courses, trade alerts, private live streams, and so much more. Check it all out. 7-day free trial, link down below in the description. And as always, do your own research. Don't look short term, think long term. And I'll see you in the next one.